So guys, sorry for the retarded lighting. The hell light right in front of you, but anyway. Sorry for the whispering. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a Pokemon theory-ish. Sorry, I swear I'm really sorry for the bad lighting. I'm sure I have no brightness on it, but I mean, if anything, I'll fix the lighting for winter. But it's going to be a Pokemon theory today. I'm not sure where I should kind of put this. If I'm going to put it on a set in its own separate playlist or anything. But anyways, back to the video. This is going to be this is going to be essentially about Pokemon evolution. Not the game evolution, or well, just Pokemon evolution in general. More of the Darwinian evolution. If you don't know what Darwinian evolution is, it's sort of the whole, it's kind of, invented by, Darwin, the guy who invented the theory of evolution. If you don't know what that is, you really need to, read the internet. You really do. And by that, just, search up Pokemon evolution theories, and then you're fine. And then there should be at least one video that explains it, But anyways, what I'm talking about is how Kabutops evolves into Scyther. Now, this could make a lot of sense, sort of. Both of them sort of a land Pokemon. They don't share the same typings at all. I mean, Kabutops is water rock, and Scyther's bug flying. But here's the thing. Okay, they sort of both have the same general body shape. Sort of. Mind the head, but they both sort of have the same body shape. Both have blade arms, and both sort of have stubby kind of legs. I mean, sure, Kabutops has 2 claw things on his legs, and, Scyther has 3, but, part of the the dex entries say that, its body and, legs and stuff are adapting to land, which means possibly the legs, adapted to be walking on 3 legs, 3 thingamajiggies. So, maybe that's why. They both share those weird clawed scythe things. I mean, Scyther, a scythe. So it makes a lot of sense. Scythe, yeah. Grim Reaper style. Scythe. So, they both have those scythe hands, which would mean that they probably both evolved into that. Makes a whole lot of sense. Although Kabutops is a bit, lanky, and, Scyther is also a bit lanky, but it has some kind of armor shelling. It could be that the head changed along with its environment, because it was a literally, it's the mantis Pokemon and the shellfish Pokemon. Scyther's the mantis and Kabutops is the shellfish, which makes a lot of sense. But what could happen is that possibly Kabutops' head changed shape to become another shape into the Scyther shape head, and most likely that the reason how it gained its type is possibly that a group of them of Scythers of Kabutops probably got into the forest while exploring the land. They found leaf stones, which I'm going to make a video also on that. Don't worry, it'll explain how the evolution stones, I'm going to call them, because there's nothing else to call them. I'll just call them the evolution stones. Have the mega stones, evolution stones. Just call them stones. But they probably found leaf stones and, different berries and things like that, and they essentially lived there. They eventually grew wings to fly up to find other, berries. Possibly, we don't know really what Scyther eats. I mean, it's a mantis, and mantises eat other insects, and possibly they eat, possibly could eat, because you can find bug Pokemon when you're growing, things. Growing berries. Which means, bugs, eat, berries. What is Scyther? Bug. So, most likely, it's going to find an actual, you can find a Scyther, which means that Scyther eats berries. Kind of easy. But, here's the question. Sure, okay, maybe that's where they gained their typing, but the coloration? easy. Camouflage. Shelling, also pretty easy. They adapted to land, so now they're landish. So now they become more dynamic and things like that. That is essentially kind of how I imagined it to be. Now you can now the body's a little, this kind of scratching the bottom of the barrel, but the shell doesn't really look like a thing, and in the back you can't really see. It's kind of spikes jutting out of the edge of their body. Those could possibly get turned into like armor shelling, sort of. I just call it shelling because there's nothing else I can call it. Armoring, shells, and kind of a shell thing. And that's where and on the back, that's where the wings sprouted to get high berries where they couldn't climb up. I mean, it's kind of hard to climb up when your arms are scythes trying to go. It's not gonna work. There we go. It's not gonna work, and you're gonna go. It's a tree. Okay, sure, it's a jungle. They could be very high up. There's also the whole, accidentally going too far deep through the tree and accidentally cutting it open and falling off, and then the tree falling on top of you and you dying. And then the whole that you have 3 little stubby crack things. It's kind of impossible to get. So that's why they grew wings. Now, don't worry. These videos, they're not going to be always just like this. I'll fix lighting. Don't worry. Not only that, I'm actually going to be getting. I'm going to find out once I can get an editing software. I can either probably get an intro, and if not, I can at least put pictures. Scyther, Kabutops, typing, Pokedex entry. That. Of course, I'm not completely sure what Pokedex entries are because, it's hard to remember every single possible Pokedex entry. And, this actually recently came to my head and I didn't have really time to research it. Don't worry, I'll try to research something with stones. But, yeah. That's not the entire thing, though. Okay. We know that. We know it's a bug flying because, grass. They eat bug. I guess somehow they turned into a bug and they lost their water typing. What about the whole, Kabuto thing? Simple. Kind of pretty simple because, Scyther evolves into Scyther. I already say it. And then that thing Mega evolves. Mega evolution, this is probably because, thing was nearby a stone. Easiest thing hit it, Mega stone. Boom. So then, fusion. And then, fusion. And then that's kind of how it works. Sort of. Who knows? But, Buddy McButterson, the question is about the Kabuto thing. Possibly, it skips, and it probably skipped out because of, the pre-evolution to Scyther wasn't very effective, and they wouldn't they wouldn't really last, and they were kind of getting eaten by other large Pokemon around that time. Possibly, I don't know, Tyranitar. I don't know. Actually, they were kind of not Tyranitar, Tyrantrum. If Tyranitar were around that time, then possibly, yeah, they'd probably also get eaten. But Tyrantrum would probably be the most devastating thing to them. But not really, because around that time, Tyrantrum wasn't around there. We don't know about Tyranitar. Tyranitar is we don't really know. Something that is important, though, and very important, we have to figure it out, is what could have been a very possible solution to them having to skip an evolution and just evolve straight into that thing. Gain a steel typing to become stronger to survive. Most likely, something that kind of could hunt them down is possibly really old, because we know that there are a lot of Pokemon that kind of around there. Now, there's not that many that we know around that time, but we have, Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl is probably the most important thing to them because it's a flying Pokemon. They probably hunted in groups, because probably hunted in flocks, like, we probably did, look over there, look yonder, don't go farther than here because there's like 1,000 Aerodactyls and they're gonna really mess you up. They're like, seriously, they're gonna rip your arm off and then, eat you alive. Terrible. I saw my friend get eaten alive. I cry every time. Now, but most likely, that's sort of why what happened. Aerodactyls hunted them down, and any other bug. Essentially, what's strong against bug types? Well, a lot of things are strong against bug types. Fire types. We don't have many fire types that are there except Kyogre. But pretty sure Kyogre doesn't eat Scyther. It's kinda retarded. You'd probably have to eat like 70,000 of them to get full. Most like Mewtwo isn't around there, so no. Mew wouldn't hurt a fly. Probably Mew ate berries, who knows. The fire, there's a lot of things that could even, Poros didn't exist around that time, most likely. The most prominent thing is probably Aerodactyl and anything else that was strong against them. That's strong against books and flying types, that's not really a lot. But, then again, we have, Aerodactyl, freaking flying Pokemon, that's a gigantic Pokemon, and happens to get Mega Evolved. But, it's a freaking dinosaur, can fly. What else does it need to be said? So, that's probably how the evolution works. And most likely, that is how they evolved. How they turned to Scyther, so they probably said, okay, we don't need them, we just have to get them to do this instantaneously. So most likely, in the egg, they go from another Kabutops sword that we don't know, and then turn into an egg. And then turn into the Scyther, get big enough until the egg cracks, and they grow as much as they can to the, the round size, to around the size, a little bit short of, just a tiny bit, maybe like a few inches less than a regular Scyther, which then grows up very quickly into, an adult Scyther, which lives off his life either, getting trapped by a trainer, fighting every day, or he's a wild Scyther, or sadly, a mating slave, getting trapped there by trainers who just freaking want to get as many random Pokemon as they can so they can just, wonder trade them and get better stuff. Or put them on the GTS for, Arceus and stuff. I saw some crazy stuff for that. Bruh, I found a Gulpin. For an Arceus.
Bruh.
It had an item. Okay, sure. It's not like it has, the God Stone. Gives 10 trillion attack to whatever Pokemon it gives. And if so, then, hell yeah, I'd give, 7. I'd give a level 100 Arceus with freaking, I don't know. Level 100 Arceus that was, super trained. Sure, why not? A Max Eevee Pokemon, I don't know. Freaking super awesome, shiny. I'd probably give it shiny. Freaking thing now. Of course, there's no such thing as God's Stone, but whatever. So that's most likely how they worked out. Scyther probably evolved to get steel typing to protect itself from, from Aerodactyl, which means that the adult Scyther, the Scythers, would protect the Scythers, while they would, do stuff. So the Scythers would protect them as the Scythers would collect food for, themselves, and any leftovers would probably give to them, and then the Scythers would get their own food and probably get rest for everything. So that's probably how it did. And if not, they'd probably just be alone. I don't know. It doesn't really specify anything about how they hunt and stuff. And if so, well then, again, I didn't really research it, and I don't really remember the anime, because, I just don't have, a copy of the entire Pokemon series, sitting on my bed, so. And if so, it'd probably take me forever to do that. Let alone find an episode where they actually had a Scyther in it, and then find all the Scyther episodes, and then find that. That'd be freaking impossible, so whatever. But anyways, that's essentially how it possibly worked. So essentially, Kabutops evolved through Darwinian evolution to become a Scyther, which then skips the Kabuto evolution inside of the egg. Turns into your Scyther inside the egg. It's a bit shorter than the normal Scyther, and the Scyther when Scyther evolves into Scythers possibly helped out their Scyther siblings or the pack and things like that. They're mainly what forced them to skip an evolution was possibly, skip their pre-evolution is possibly Aerodactyls, and the Scyther and the Scyther had to evolve into a steel. Had to gain steel plating on them and stuff, and these chomp thingamajigs to protect themselves and and like the pack and things like that from Aerodactyls, which, you know, are freaking flying dinosaurs. So, yeah. Anyways, that's all I have for now. You know, there's some other stuff going to be coming on. Please tell me in the comments, you know, how I'm supposed to do this. I mean, tell me if this should be in, you know, if I should just make a different playlist for this. Should this be, like, part of, sort of, Pokemon Unlimited? I don't know. For now, it's just going to be Pokemon Theory. I don't know. Whatever. And, yeah. So, essentially, that's what's going to be. Don't worry. Hopefully, the next video I want to be doing is going to be, of, you know, Pokemon Theory is possibly going to be, it's probably going to be on, like, the stones and stuff. And, yeah. Sorry I haven't been able to, and also, I'm sorry that I haven't been able to, upload that much. It's been hectic. My brother came finally. Yeah, you know, moved in. Boom. You got a pet iguana. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's sort of all I really have to do. I was, yeah. So there's not really a lot. But, yeah, there's not really a lot else to say. Except that I want to be on Mega Stones and how, you know, Mega Stones are made. Possibly after that, you know, something else. Possibly about Durant. I'm kidding. I mean, actually, Durant would be kind of cool, but we have nothing that could possibly evolve into Durant. I mean, there's not much else. Well, yeah, Sun and Moon's gonna be awesome. Can't really do anything because there's not much I can really think about. There's another thing I could possibly say that most likely there's gonna be burst moves because of the whole, you know, X and Y, you know, Sycamore studied Pokemon evolutions. What do we get? Mega evolutions. You know, I forgot what this professor, you know, studies Pokemon moves. Gets hit by Pokemon moves literally just to study them. You know, there's a weird little diamond thing. You know, there's a thing, and even in the Pokemon thing, it says, you know, in the Pokemon website, it says, encounter moves you've never seen before. That could mean only one thing. Burst moves! Just essentially kind of a rip-off of Pokemon Tournament. Even though it's awesome, I have it. It's freaking insane. Bro, there's a black Mewtwo. Yeah, it's terrifying, you know. It has like freaking, I guess like mega. I mean, because they're called synergy stones, whatever. But anyways, back from anyways. I'll probably, if I ever do an evolution, if I ever do an evolution, of course. If I ever do a video, I'll explain that. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. Like if you like the video, you know, subscribe, stuff. And, you know, bye. Bye.